In the past, I've made a lot of videos of things that you can incorporate into your animations to make it better instantly. And today I'm going to do another video, but I truly believe this is the one thing every animator should focus on, and that is weight. So let's get into it. Hey guys, my name is Eon and welcome to my Start Animating YouTube channel, the channel that is specifically aimed at everyone that is new to animation. And if that is you, welcome, you are at the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also click on that little notification bell so that you can get notified every week when I upload a brand new video. And if you are new to animation and you don't know what you're going to need, everything is daunting. Well, I created the animation startup guide, and in this guide, I list all the different types of softwares: 2D animation, 3D animation, also like script writing and storyboarding, as well as the different types of drawing tablets. And all of them have links to the official website so you can see what are the needed specs, the prices, so that you know what is available and what will best suit your needs, so you can make an informed decision. So if you want that list, in the description box below there's a link. Just click there and I will send that guide to you. Now, as I've mentioned, today I am going to talk about weight, and not like weight, I'll talk about it later, but weight like in the mass, of how to add weight and mass into your animations. So what is weight when it comes to animation? Well, weight is basically how an object or a character reacts to other objects or to gravity. Okay, so just if I can say that again, it is how an object or a character reacts to another object or to gravity. Okay, so our brain is almost, because we see things around us every day, our brain is almost programmed to um, see how objects react to others and to gravity. It's almost like second nature. It just happens by itself. Our brain sees it every day. So when we animate, we need to make our brain believe what we want him to believe. So we need to incorporate weight and into our animations so that it looks realistic. Okay, so I want to show you some two illustrations of what I mean when it comes to adding weight. Okay, so let me give you an example quickly. Okay, so here on my screen, you will see there's two circles. Now, for an audience at home, all they see is two circles, but that is the only information they have. And when it comes to animation, this is very important to realize. We only work with um, objects we create. Like, for example, we draw two circles or two balls, or um, we created a 3D version of a basketball or a ball or a object. So we created it. Okay, so just because we created it doesn't mean we now need to, how can I put it, we need to show with weight how this object, is it heavy, is it light. Okay, so let me show you this animation quickly. Okay, like I say, this is two circles, and if the audience look at this, they only see two same objects. Okay, but if I'm going to press play, you're going to see just how weight can tell a completely different story, that these two similar objects have different weight. Okay, so if I press play, look at that. Okay, so it is obviously the one circle is a lot heavier than the other one. The one just drops and it hardly bounces, it just hits the ground, and the other one floats. So just by adding weight to these two circles, the audience can already see between these two which one is heavier and which one is light or lighter. Okay, and you can just, for example, in real life, a basketball and a bowling ball, if you're gonna hold both of them up and you drop them, they're gonna act differently. even though they're the same shape, they both are balls. They're the same shape, but they react differently. The bowling ball will just drop and the basketball will bounce. Okay. And so that will automatically tell your brain the one is heavier than the other one. Okay. So just if I press play again, you can clearly see which one of these two circles are heavier just by applying weight. Okay, so I want to show you guys another example, and I'm going to show you two different examples of the same action, okay, of how you can clearly see with the same action, but you reverse the weight, and you'll immediately see which one is heavier. Um, just by applying weight to your animation, your brain tells you a lot about those objects. So, for example, here again is um, two circles. So again, the audience, they look at it, they see it's two of the same objects. So in their brain, it should say the same weight. But if you press play, you can see between the two which one is the heavier one. Okay, so it's the one that hits the other ball away. Okay, so the heavier ball will hit the lighter ball away. Okay, but let me show you now in reverse. Same movement, and if I press play, you can clearly see which one is the heavier one. Okay? So this is just two examples of how you can apply weight to your animations to make it more believable. Okay, so this is very important because, again, if you just look at these images, it is two of the same objects. Our brain says they are the same, but it's how you apply weight to it that makes it different. That tells our brain a lot more. It gives the brain information that the simple drawing doesn't provide. Okay, so applying weight can really make your animations better. Okay, so how do you apply weight to your animation? So there's four things that I can mention on how you can do it. Okay, so the first one is timing and spacing. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here next to me. So timing and spacing. So for example, if I go back to the first example, okay, timing and spacing. A heavy object will drop faster than a lighter object. So, for example, not always, but for example, if you have a bowling ball and a feather, okay, if you drop them, the bowling ball is going to hit and the feather is slowly going to drop down. Okay, so that is timing. Okay, so timing can really play a big role in providing more information to your audience member watching your animation. The second one, squash and stretch. Okay, this one animators use quite a lot. The more something stretches, the softer it is, and the less it stretch, the harder it is. So, for example, if I'm just going to show you this first example quickly again, I'm just going to take that ball. So this one, you can actually see it is very um, hard because when it drops, it doesn't squash or stretch. It keeps its form. And when it bounces, it doesn't squash and bounce. So, but you can imagine if you take a bowling ball again and you take a water balloon, if you're going to drop it, the bowling ball is going to keep its shape, but the water balloon is, as it drops, it's going to go down, and when it hits the floor, it's going to go flat and then go up again. So you can clearly see by just a squash and stretch which one between the two is softer and harder. Okay, so you can use squash and stretch. Then anticipation. So you'll notice that I'm mentioning some of the principles of animation from the 12 principles of animation. So that is why the 12 principles of animation is so important. So the third one, anticipation. So if an object is heavier, your character will have to put more effort into pushing it, if that makes sense. So if your character doesn't have a lot of effort in pushing an object, it means that object is very light. Okay, so by using anticipation, you can actually kind of see, is an object heavy or is it light? And then the fourth one is also one of the principles of animation, and that is follow through and overlap. So, if I can give you an example, in a previous video, I think it's last week or 2 weeks ago, I think it's 2 weeks ago, I showed you how to animate a character jumping. Now, if you remember, when he landed, his knees bended. Okay, so when a character jumps, he's not just going to land like that. Gravity is going to have an impact. So there's going to be a follow through of his upper body. So what happens is when he lands, his knees will bend. That means the character is reacting to gravity and also the floor. And it's also a form of squash. So as he lands, he goes down and he squashes and then he stands up again. So it's squash and stretch, but it's also follow through. His upper body, there's motion and there's momentum as well. And so he will, as he lands, that momentum will make his knees bend and his upper body will go lower than just he's landing like that. There's momentum and it will tell you there's momentum and gravity, and it also will help portray to the audience, make your animations look more realistic. So those are just four of the principles of animation that will help you make your animations look more realistic by applying weight, and that is timing and spacing, squash and stretch, anticipation, and then finally follow through and overlap. So those are the four things that you can apply to your animations to add weight to your animations to make it look more realistic. So what is the benefits of adding weight? I think by now you know the benefits, but let's just quickly run through it. The first thing, it's obvious, your animation will look more believable. Okay, a character that jumps when he lands, he doesn't land like this, he will land like this. A character that is pushing a heavy object, he's not just gonna push it easily by moving it slower. Like another thing with timing and spacing, a heavier object moves slower than a lighter object. Um, that also makes sense. For example, if you have a heavy object, a box that you want to push, that will move slower than a lighter box that you push. Okay, so heavier objects move slower than lighter objects. So it adds believability to your animation. Then the second one, it communicates characters and emotions. So, for example, the way a robot moves is very stiff, and it's kind of slow and stiff, but a fairy moves very fluently. So it just adds to the character. And then also, if a character is tired, he's joint or his arms, he will drag his arms and he will drag his feet. So it adds weight to him. And then versus an energetic character who's very fluent and moves fluent and is very jumpy, etc. So you can also add emotion and characteristics to your characters by applying weight. It just tells more about his emotions, etc. Again, like I've just said, if a character is tired, everything is dragging and looping. He's dragging along, but someone who's happy and energetic, he is jumping and the movement is a lot more smoother. And then finally, it helps viewers understand the physics. Again, our brain sees everything and registers everything, how objects react to gravity and to other objects. It's almost second nature. And we need to tell the brain, we need to provide our brains with all the information regarding the object, so that your brain can register what that object is. It's no use you draw a basketball and you have characters animating a basketball scene with characters playing basketball, but the doesn't react like a basketball, it reacts like a bowling ball, then your brain will say something is not right. Okay. So applying weight to your animations is extremely, extremely important. It will add a lot of more believability. It will help the audience understand the physics of the objects, and it will also add some emotion to your characters as well. So guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did by hitting that thumbs up. It really helps the YouTube algorithms. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And then finally, I would love to invite you to join my Start Animating community. I will also leave a link in the description below so that you guys can check it out. There's 3 different tiers. There's a free one, so you can join up for free, and just if you want to check it out. And then there's the second tier, which is more for those who want to be part of a community and learn from other animators, like-minded animators, and where there is absolute no trolls. So that is for the second group. And then the third tier is for the more serious animator um, who wants to take his animation to the next level. This tier comes with one-on-one coaching with me. It comes with online courses. So it is a much more advanced tier for your more serious animator. But feel free to go check it out. I would love to see you guys inside, even if it's just for the free one, if you want to go check everything out. So guys, that is it for me. I will see you guys next week with another video. So God bless and happy animating.